And we're back. We have time traveled to the end of the Leafs game. And the moral of the story, I think, is we cannot do podcasts anymore on Leafs games.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement. Thank God there are 2 games left in the series, and neither of them will happen on the night we podcast, I believe. But for these, we've now seen 5 Leaf Habs games. We've podcasted on 2 of them, and both times our time traveling has led to a disappointing moment. Although somehow I feel a lot better about this one than I did last week. I will get right into it, but to sum up my feelings, Carey Price is the MVP of that game.
Yes. And so is Galchenyuk for the Habs.
And maybe Sandin.
Yeah. Had a great game and just made a absolutely brutal play that cannot happen in overtime. I think the other MVP is Jack Campbell's glove. I don't know. He needs to get it fixed, but he could not close it on a puck at all. Like even if it was up in the air, he'd try grabbing it and fall out, or in front of the net, he'd swipe at it and it just wouldn't sit in his glove. I don't know what is going on, but I think he needs to get someone to take a look at his glove there, because 2 of the goals were ones that probably could have been covered up. And yeah, Leafs lose in overtime, the first overtime of the series, after having a miraculous comeback led by none other than Jake Muzzin, the high-powered offensive weapon we all knew he could be.
Yeah, he's now got more goals in the series than Austin Matthews does.
And Mitch Marner.
Does Marner have one yet, or both of them
He
put
doesn't
together?
have he doesn't have a goal in his last 16 playoff games.
Wow. So
Unless this one counts. The one off the players in front.
Oh, right.
That they've credited to Hyman, but I don't know if he touched it.
All right. Pending for now, Jake Muzzin has more goals in this series than Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner combined. But it's fine because we have William Nylander, who has continued to be the Leafs playoff MVP, and his goals, his scoring streak stops, but I still thought he had a really great game. And that move in the first was so filthy to set up the shot, and Price just absolutely robbed him in one of many such occasions.
Yeah, Carey Price had some great moments. And the Leafs, all of their goals that they scored pretty much were get down and dirty, get a deflection, get bodies in front. And that's how Montreal scored as well. There was no real clean goals in this one, except for the very first goal of the game. And of course, the very last goal of the game. But for the most part, it was a lot of banging and crashing. No, there was 2 penalties called in this entire game, which blows my mind. That is the thing that I am going to raise hell about. That, and it's got to go both ways, but there's just got to be more in a game like this, because there were infractions everywhere, and it's ridiculous. And the Leafs did not have a power play until the third period, and Montreal only had one as well. So I don't get it.
Yeah, I saw little things like Gallagher just holding guys' sticks and using his stick to like slow them down when they're trying to skate in the open ice. Like, I'm just going to toe the line on what's interference, but make the refs feel like it'll be a soft call if they make it. Overall, I'm really happy to see the Leafs battle back from being down 3-0. I went to go start dinner when I saw that third one go in, and then heard the buzzer shortly after and got back into the game. You mentioned the 2 clean goals that the Habs had. The first one, I mentioned Sandin. I think Thornton is honestly more to blame than Sandin on that goal. Sandin coming up the wall, he sees Perry's going to go into him, so he tries to chip it up. The puck gets near the stick of Thornton, who on his walker just can't get to it, can't slow the play down at all. I think Armia just blows by him 2-on-1. Defender doesn't have time Bogosian doesn't have time to take the pass or the shot, and Armia beats Campbell pretty clean. I think most forwards are able to slow that play down enough that even if the puck still goes to attack our end, the defense has like 2 seconds more to get on it. There's a stick check in there, and that goal, Campbell has more time and space to make it. But the second turn away was all Sandin behind the net, just coughing the puck up way too easy. You got to dump that away or something. That's the last thing you can be doing. But ultimately, Carey Price was just able to make let us make them pay for their mistakes a lot less frequently than Jack Campbell bailed us out. And that's not a knock on Campbell. I thought he played steady, solid, just not fantastic. And Price was fantastic. And in a game this even, there's going to be mistakes on both ends. Ultimately the goalie decides who pays for those mistakes and when you don't.
Yeah. I thought Campbell, after that third goal went in, was fantastic. Really, really steady. A couple of huge saves that allowed the Leafs to build the comeback. The only goal I really have against him is probably the third one, where he's got to get his glove down and cover the puck before Kotkaniemi stabs it in there. But he'll get his glove fixed, and there won't be any more of that. It's so rare where I see goals that are just shoveled in like that in front of the net, especially with this new Leafs teams where they have guys who are protecting the netminder.
The second goal was a bit embarrassing. It felt like there were 3 guys just standing around as that found its way perfectly.
Yeah, I don't even know how that ended up going in. I just the Habs, again, they didn't show that threatening level of determination or the physicality that you would expect from a team on the brink of elimination. And even like all of their goals just seemed kind of out of the blue and never felt super dangerous.
No, you weren't like,
Yet,
oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Here it comes, and then it comes, like you are sometime against like a really scary offensive checking team. And other than that last goal, it wasn't even like, oh, here comes like a grade A prime scoring chance.
yeah. So a couple adjustments need to be made. I imagine Dermott's going to be in for game 6. And if Foligno's back, I don't know about him. We don't really know what the injury is and how long he's expected to be out. But if he's back, I would just throw him out on the fourth line in Thornton's place, because he can play that power play role in front of the net that Thornton's been doing, and at least he's got a bit more foot speed to keep up with the action. Because at this point, I don't know if you can break up that second line.
I would much rather have Galchenyuk in the lineup, and from the productive series he's had so far, I think he had 2 assists on the night rather than Thornton at this point. So I completely agree with you. And I want to end. I don't know if you have anything left to say on the game.
Not really. It's just on to game 6, and let's ignore the fact that the Demons are slowly creeping up here.
There's nothing under the bed. Nothing. Not going to check the closet. It's fine. What I really like is they made it a battle. Nothing easy. They made the Habs sweat. They made them work. They made them go into the locker room after the third period stressed, not hyped to go to game 6, but like under pressure. And if you consistently apply that pressure, it's going to break down its target eventually. And that's what's important here. Nothing free, nothing easy. Back to it in 2 nights. Let's go, boys. Get her done.
They did win that game.